comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. The Bearcats offense has the ball first today. And guys, we talk about how tight ends are a quarterback's best friend. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. That keeps the running game churning. Pickup of 5 to the 23. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. He's got it on the right. He'll get a fresh set down, stopped at the 31-yard line. It's 1st and 10 from the 31. Wide receiver going in motion. Quick touch pass to the receiver. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. So now it's 2nd and long. Sends it back in motion. Now on the option. A 6-yard pickup that leaves them with 3rd and 4. And the Bearcats come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. Wants to throw. It's Sorsby. A strike downfield. And he's brought down after a huge completion. They might be thinking back-to-back big plays after that last one. 1st and 10 from the 32. Off the bootleg, wants to toss it. Makes the catch. It's Royer. And he's brought down after a nice gain. How about the zip this junior put on that ball to pick up the first down? Got his man quickly. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. They go to the ground. Makes one man miss. Hard running there. He's all the way down to the 3. Showed it all on that run. The Bearcats will try to punch it in on 1st and goal. Slams it ahead. He cannot get it in. A mere inches away from pay dirt. Now it's 2nd and goal. Trying to power it in. And there was nowhere to go. Just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. They've controlled the ball on this opening drive. Play number 10 brings us to 3rd and goal. They're setting up the screen. And he'll haul it in and take it to the end zone. Touchdown, Bearcats!
What a nice job by the offense. First drive of the game, they matriculated down the field, put themselves in a goal-to-go situation on 3rd down. It's not going to be easy throwing it, but they win the matchup, accurate throw, and they get paid.
Getting set for the extra point effort, putting the scoreboard to work for the first time. And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one. They put together an 81-yard drive, and they capped the drive with a 4-yard touchdown pass. On the run from inside his own 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So Arizona's offense will get the ball for the first time. It's not often we focus on a matchup quite like this, but David, we have a couple of premier tight ends in this game.
And we've seen it recently, right? Ty Warren last year, Brock Bowers the year before. Like, you can build an offense around an elite tight end, and both of...
It's a running room. Wide open spaces. At the 20. Touchdown, Wildcats. He got a step and just dusted the field.
Love the play call offensively. They knew the defense were crowding a lot of bodies close to the line of scrimmage, and once they were able to get into the 2nd level, all they had to do was make one guy miss and get one good angle. And with the speed that ball carrier has, man, that thing was a sure shot touchdown.
Extra point here will tie the game. And they pick up the extra point. Kicker knocked it right down the middle. that one's going to get a little star marked beside it on the play sheet. One play, explosive, touchdown just like that. And he takes this from inside the 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. A little bit backed up to start this drive from their own 18-yard line. To the ground with the back. Good, solid, determined run there. They'll mark him down at the 27. The Bearcats can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. To the air, it's Sorsby. He hurls one deep down the left side. Got it in stride inside the 20. And he'll take it in and house it. Touchdown, Bearcats!
And I think in the pre-snap, I think both of these guys were on the same page. They had a look defensively that let them know we can pitch this thing way down the field. I'm going to go run under it and make a big play.
Yeah, and when I'm the receiver, I'm like, I'm open, right? I'm going straight down the field. Throw me the football. I got the speed. I can beat this guy. You can tell they've done that so much in practice. They knew it was second nature, and they executed it perfectly.
And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Guys, let's recap that ACC matchup that has just gone final. Clemson made it look easy, but I promise you, there is nothing easy about a double-digit win on the road. And a win like this only confirms there is something special brewing with these Tigers. One team will rise in the ACC standings, while the other is going to sink like a stone. The harsh reality of college football when conference foes face off, fellas.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. Finds his way for 3 after the 33. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. It's complete to the left. He'll go out of bounds at the 38-yard line as this offense patiently tries to work the ball out of its own end. They'll try to bully their way for the first. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. Arizona moving the ball quickly down the field. Looking to throw on first down. Grabbed in the middle. It's Hudson. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down mark. Trying to get a rhythm in the passing game now on 2nd down. Here's the handoff. Past the sticks, and he may get more. An explosive play in the running game as he's got the first down. Arizona in a hurry.
What a phenomenal job in the open field, breaking off the long run, and they're not going to just take their time and huddle up to get the next play call. They're right back at the line of scrimmage, going tempo.
This time he doesn't get loose, and finally the defense gets him bottled up behind the line. On the option. He'll pitch it. There he goes. A tremendous run. He was full bore after taking that pitch. Just sweet execution. They'll run it from the gun. Nice move to pick up yardage. Pulled down at the 11-yard line as they inch closer and closer to pay dirt. Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone. Is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Rides to the back. They finally get a hold of him, knocking him down behind the line of scrimmage. He had been running wild. Back to pass, it's Fafita. He's got it on the run. Touchdown, Arizona! Hauled that baby in and then strolled into the end zone for the score. They just took the air out of that thing, and that might be an understatement. They took the ball away and just wore down, just grinded away at that defense.
And took a lot of time off the clock in the process as well. I'm impressed with the physicality up front of this offense, because that's where it all starts. If you're going to march the ball down the field like they just did, you've got to be dominating in the trenches, and they are doing that in this game right now.
And he knocks the extra point through the uprights. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. On on the move from inside his 5. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Looking downfield on first down. Caught in the backfield, it's Pryor.
Well, look, I know this guy's not the biggest running back in college football, but boy, is he dangerous, right? He's so shifty. He's hard to bring down. It's a good idea to get him going in the passing game. Put him out in space. Let's see what he can do.
And they'll get enough for the first down, and that's how things will come to a close here in the first quarter. Both teams wanted to establish the run, and they have done exactly that in the first quarter. They fought to a standstill in the first. Let's see who gets the edge early in the second. First play of the period, first down here. They'll give it to the back. And he'll pick up 1. It brings up 2nd and 9. Tried to pound it on first down, now back to the line. To the air, it's Sorsby. Throws to the tight end. And he's brought down after a nice gain. The Bearcats with the 1st and 10. He'll keep it himself. He has an extensive juke library, and he exhausted it and still didn't pick up much. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Snagged in the middle. It's Pryor. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. On 3rd and short, the power run here. Find some fresh air. He's got enough. It'll be a first down. They've got it at the 12. And the Bearcats, after ripping off that huge run, let's see if they can do it again. Wants to throw on first down. Makes the catch. So close to that end zone. He can almost taste it, but it'll be 1st and goal for this offense. They'll try to get it in with the run. Touchdown, Cincinnati! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
Man, you see all the time this running back has spent in the weight room this offseason. Did you see that stiff arm? He just pile drive that defender into the ground, get off me, and he's able to walk in for the score.
Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. And with the extra point, the score is now 21-14. 76 yards on the drive for the touchdown. And they close the deal, pushing their way inches into the end zone. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. A lot of work to do as this drive will start from the 16-yard line. Dropping back, it's Fafita. Quickly to the tight end. And that corner came in hot despite knowing that he was giving up some size. He'll pull it on the read. Sweet cut there. May not be the most memorable play of the day, but it's important as he gets him out to the 25-yard line. On 3rd and short, they'll ride the running back here. And with that effort, they pick up a fresh set of downs. They have it at the 34-yard line. They're going to ride this running back. This time the defense was ready, and they stop him in his tracks. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Off play action. Throws for the tight end. Intercepted. Didn't let him get loose on the return, but he'll take it as they have the ball at the 47.
And he makes a play in the back end. Nice job reading the pass, and that's his 2nd of the season. This guy, unbelievable job seeing the quarterback, breaking on the quarterback, and going and getting that big play.
Bearcat offense ready to go back to work. Man, what a drive last time for the touchdown. That passing attack was lethal, David.
Yeah, and you know, you hear all these stupid commentators like me and Jess.
Catch and stride inside the 15. And he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Bearcats!
It's so nice as a quarterback when it's not just your receivers that are dangerous after the catch. How about the yak ability by this tight end? He's a guy that can stretch the field. He can make DBs miss, and he's got speed. He's a generational talent. He's really helping out this offense.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And he tacks on the extra point. That drive not too taxing on the playbook. One play, put it in the end zone just like that. He'll take the return, try to get better field position. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. They'll snap this one to start the drive from their own 22. Off the play fake on first down. Missed receiver there, it's incomplete. Plenty of work to do here on second and long. Grabbed in the backfield, it's Patterson. He's loose. And he's brought down at the 40-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Arizona right back to the line.
And it's frustrating as a defense when you give up that first down and you give up that pass play. But here we go with this offense. They're right back on the ball. You got to flush that. You got to get lined up. You got to communicate.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Quarterback on the keeper. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. Some third down conversions tougher than others. This one a long one on third down from the 43. Looking downfield, it's Fafita. Makes the grab on the left. He's got first down yardage as they move it to the 44. The Wildcats are on the move. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Takes a hit as he fires.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have a chance to be complete.
On third down, he drops to throw. Got it in the middle, it's Patterson. Really nice job to convert that third down, and they've got it at the 33. The give to the back. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Didn't get much on first down. It's second and 9. Running back searching for a hole. Spins away from the defense. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down. And the Wildcats pounded the rock to move the sticks, now back to work. Here's a heat. It's complete to the right. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. Whistle blows. We are at the 2-minute timeout, and man, oh man, could these guys use a score to cut into this lead. They'll go to work in the air on second down. Quarterback adapting. Oh, a lot of space. And he scoots his way to the first down and then slides to avoid the hit. Timeout called here by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half. This offense needs a little something to feel good about going to halftime. A chance to chip away here on first and goal. Scanning the field, it's Fafita. And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13.
And for quarterbacks throwing the ball down this close to the goal line, because there's so many bodies in such a small space, oftentimes routes take a little bit longer to develop, and it forces quarterbacks to have to hold on to it a little bit longer. That's the risk and danger with throwing the ball so close to the goal line. You might get sacked.
Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit. Now third and goal and tough yardage to cover here. He's
really big score here at the end of the first half, just for their confidence and their momentum. They're obviously still losing right now on the scoreboard, but you had the feeling something positive had to happen here at the end of the first half for them to go in at halftime, regroup, and come out in the second half now trying to build on that successful drive offensively.
And the extra point cuts the lead to 7, 28-21. So they played keep away and held it for 16 plays on the scoring drive. And they finish it up with a 3-yard scoring toss. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. This drive opens up at the 23-yard line. Pulled and finds his man on the left. Makes the grab almost to the first down marker, but a good pickup on that one. The offense calls timeout. It's the second one they've used this half. The Bearcats with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. To the air, it's Sorsby. Quickly complete. They get him on the ground late in the half. They have the first down at the 41. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They'll go to the ground. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. The clock will stop with this timeout from the offense. They'll get a chance to regroup on the sideline. Looking to go up top and time's running out in the half. And the incomplete pass taking a shot on 2nd down, and they'll be left with a 3rd down. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. Shotgun snap, wants to throw it on 3rd. He's going to take off. And the defense able to get him down, and that should bring us to the end of the half. One snap coming before they head to the locker room. We've played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Boys, you never quite know what to expect there in Cincinnati, and we've had a lively first half. And if you thought that was a quick first half, you'd be right on the money. 2 workhorse running backs who just kept pounding the rock behind offensive lines who look less like college kids and more like bulldozers. Call it ground and pound, call it pin and pummel. Both sides have been dominant, and I'm curious to see if either defense can make an adjustment. And with that, let's send it back to the guys inside the home of Bearcats football since 1902.
They're lined up and ready to kick off this second half. From a couple of yards deep, he'll bring it out. He stopped short of the 20 at the 19 and probably wishes he'd just taken the touchback. This drive will start from the 19-yard line. He'll do it himself. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. Back to throw. It's Fafita. Quick strike complete. And he's knocked down immediately, but a good pickup on that play. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Got it in the middle. It's Burnett. To the 43-yard line and a first down for this offense. Arizona in a hurry.
And as soon as the receiver caught the ball, you saw the quarterback start communicating to his teammates what the next play was going to be because they're now changing the tempo and going fast.
Give to the back. And he does a really nice job finding open space and making a good gain before the stop is made.
And the offense has a little bit of success, and what do? They push that turbo button right back on the line, ready to run another play.
Quick handoff. They went right back to him, and this time the defense was all over him. Nothing to show for that run. They'll try to run for it. They convert on 3rd down as he gets it to the 46-yard line. And the Wildcats have their offense in high gear. Wide receiver comes in motion. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. Nowhere to go, and the ball is loose. They recover their own fumble. How in the world did the offense avoid that disaster?
Well, ball security doesn't just apply to running backs and receivers. QB's got to keep two hands on the ball as well. They're very lucky after that fumble that the offense jumped on.
And wait just a second. The official's going to take a second look at this one. So the officials take a closer look, and the replay booth will overturn the call. It's second and long now as this defense has some energy after that last sack. Throws to the wideout. Got him downfield. Stumbled to the ground. The Wildcats come to the line on third and short, trying to convert here. On third and short, just trying to get enough for the first down. And he is brought down, but what a move he put on that first defender. Back to throw, it's Fafita. Takes the easy throw in the flat. Just not willing to take the hit. He delivers it and gets to the 27. The Wildcats with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. Defense holds their ground, pickup of a yard. It's at the 26. And the Wildcats are at the line looking to convert on third and short. Trying to pick it up on the ground. Turning on the Jets. Got some room headed to the goal line. Touchdown, Arizona. And they take it in for 6 more points.
You know, this offense knew coming into the season it was so important for this guy to stay healthy. They needed him week in, week out because he plays at such a high level, and he's showing it here. That last carry was his 10th rushing touchdown of the season.
Setting up for the extra point and the top. And the extra point was made without incident, and we're tied up here in the third. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, guys, got a final score in a big top 25 matchup today. Oklahoma was relentless today in a road win that frankly wasn't even as close as the final score indicates. This was a vintage Sooners performance, one that really should instill confidence within this program. An SEC clash and an impressive showing that could be a huge confidence builder for this program. Back to you.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. Looking to fire. Unloads to the wideout. He's got an open man. Building momentum. Picking up a chunk of yardage. Moving the chains out to the 34. A designed run for the quarterback. It's a seam wide open. And the big game. They've got it on the 46. And the Bearcats want to pick up the tempo.
The defense has got to be more physical up front. Don't let them have those running lanes, those holes to break off a nice run, get a first down. And here's the thing, you better reload quick because they're right back on the line to call another play.
They're dealing with a second and long. From the gun, leaves it on the inside with the back. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Dropping back, it's Sorsby. He ended up going backwards on the play, and they will not convert that third down. And the Bearcats will try to pin them back with the punt. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Give to the running back. Oh, what a move. And that defense is there to guide him out of bounds after a short gain. After picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. Now the play fake. Fires to the tight end. All the way out to the 43-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds, and this offense is on the move. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Offense lines up for a 1st and 10 from the 43. He'll keep it himself. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up. Win with the running game on 1st down, now back at it. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Flips it out to the back. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there. And the Wildcats are at the line trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. They'll snap it from the gun on 3rd down. Fakes the grab. They convert on 3rd down as he gets it to the 46-yard line. Arizona has the offense humming, set up with another 1st down. Wants to go up top on 1st down. They're working that left side. They get it down to the 35 before he stopped. 10-yard pickup on the play, and it's a 1st down. Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. There he goes. Just making a play, getting it to the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st down. The Wildcats kept this drive moving on the ground, now back to work. Looking for a man, it's Fafita. He's got it.
When receivers are running slant routes against man coverage, sometimes you get open using speed, but sometimes it's pure physicality. This receiver does a great job using his hands, and then he's able to fight his way to the inside. At the end of the day, he just wanted that football more.
He's brought down, just running hard in the red zone, and he'll be just a few inches short. They'll stick to the ground looking for the marker. That just never had a chance as they controlled the middle of the field and stopped him in the backfield on 3rd down. They fought tooth and nail through 3, and it is all locked up as we take a look at the stats. This is when winning plays are made, and we start right now in the 4th. So here we are on 4th down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. And he kept that one just straight enough to graze inside the left upright. And they go back on top.
All field goals are not created equal, guys. Kicks in the 4th quarter to take the lead. They just seem to carry so much more weight. So give that young man credit for getting out there and knocking that thing through the uprights with all of the pressure, with all the eyeballs on him. He delivered.
I know he thinks he can house every return, but sometimes you just have to take a knee as he stopped at the 14. He wants to start this drive with a pass. He'll try to do it himself. On the run, and he'll slide to avoid the hit. A nifty pickup there. The Bearcats can really attack on this 2nd and short. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. On the run, it's Pryor. He was looking for some place to put his foot in the ground, but the defense was everywhere, and he's knocked down behind the line. Looking downfield, it's Sorsby. He lost one down the sideline. Brings it down on the right side. The Bearcats want to move quickly.
This is a shootout. Both offenses up and down the field. They're generating explosive plays. It feels like which team has the ball last may win, but give the quarterback a lot of credit that time because, again, he saw a beautiful look to take a shot into, and he throws an absolute dime.
Line getting set on 2nd down. Handoff from the gun. They make the stop as he gets it inside the 30 to the 28, a gain of 4. The Bearcats really need to keep this drive alive on 3rd down. And the defense stands up this offensive line and stuffs him right at the line of scrimmage. He didn't get it. Good right down the boulevard. All tied up here in the 4th quarter.
I am not always the most positive guy towards kickers. We all know that. But how about that, man? First opportunity in the game in the 4th quarter. When your team needed it, the game now tied because of his foot.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. First play of the drive comes from the 22. Looking to throw on first down. Gets open down the middle.
Now, I know that completion isn't a touchdown. It's not a deep play deep down the field, but how about the strong hands by that receiver making that catch? He made that look pretty routine. He had that DB draped all over him and still was able to help this offense get positive yards.
Ball is at the 35. It's first and 10. On the option. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Lost one on that last one. It's second and 11. Out of the gun, the inside give. Turning it on. They finally wrestle down the senior, but not before he picks up some valuable ground. Arizona moving the ball quickly down the field. To the ground. He's got it again. Makes a man miss.
You want to make play calling easy for an offensive coordinator? Run the ball like that every quarter. I mean, when you can run that on first down and set up a short yardage on second down, it makes play calling easy. Every single call on that sheet is available here on second down.
Worked his way to the 38 before they stopped him. It's a 5-yard gain, and that'll be a first down. Use the play fake. Now to throw. Got his man. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks. Arizona going back to work with another first down. They'll move the wide receiver. From the gun. Give on the inside. Gets it all the way down to the 2-yard line. He was fighting for that end zone. And the offense is so close to the go-ahead score, they can smell it here in the fourth quarter. And they get nothing. The ball remains at the 2-yard line. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They've moved it forward to the 2. Now it's second and goal. Here comes the option. And he's stuffed by that big defensive tackle up front. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Defense might bring the house here. They keep nudging it closer, but now it's third and goal from the 1. Trying to run it in. Touchdown, Arizona. They've got the lead here in the 4th.
Third and goal, you're going to turn around and just give it to this guy who just has a nose for the end zone. He's able to find the crease and pay it off for his offense.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. The extra point is good, and now in the 4th, they're up by a touchdown and an extra point. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, the big top 15 battle is underway, and it's been very interesting so far. Georgia is getting throttled right now inside Sanford Stadium, and frankly, it's been that way since the crowd started barking during the opening kick. They're trailing by 14 to Texas. Week in and week out in the SEC, it's a battle of attrition, and if anything big changes, you'll hear about it here.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. That'll be enough for a fresh set of downs. He gets it to the 32. With a first down, they'll snap it from the 32. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Lost one on that last one. It's second and 11. Looking to throw, it's Sorsby. Got a man. It's Caldwell. Corralled and brought down by the defense. And the Bearcats come to the line on 3rd and short, hoping to keep the drive alive. They'll try to get it through the air. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. Now with a great opportunity as they pick up the first down. They've got it at the 40.
After that long completion for the first down, did you see everybody sprinting to the line of scrimmage offensively?
Oh, he's got some space. They stop him just a link or two short of the first, and man, what they can do on second down here. stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is looking for a play to close this deal out. Going to swing it on second down. Catch in the middle, it's Allen. And they reacted well to the completion, but it was too late to keep them from getting the first down. To the air on first down. Just a short pass to the tight end. And he's able to bounce off one tackle for a solid pickup. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. They'll send the tight end in motion. The play action fake. Looking to the big tight end. He had that one slip to the ground, and if he had held on, that might have been a wrap. Instead, it'll be third down. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. That'll be enough to give them a first and goal from the 10. They'll use a timeout here. You have to be certain at this point in the game. And they are looking to pull even with a touchdown here in the fourth quarter. Looks as if he's going to run it. He is going nowhere. Stops at the line of scrimmage. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. Good throw and catch. Takes it down to the 5 as the offense tries to cash in. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. On the run, still looking. Touchdown, Bearcats! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
And great execution. That is how it's done late in the football game now. All you need is that extra point. Bring the kicker out there. This is what you do. Just like practice, knock it through the uprights, tie this football game, and we might be looking at overtime soon.
And they are a mere extra point away from tying this game. And no problem on that extra point if we have a tie ball game here in the fourth. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. On the run from inside his own 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They'll snap this one to start the drive from their own 22. Off the play fake on first down to throw. And he can't get it off. Taken down. What a huge play this late in the game. Quick timeout from the offense to save precious seconds. Looking to pass. It's Fafita. Makes the grab. And they pick up just a few on that completion. The Wildcats need their binoculars to find that line to gain here on third down. Looking to move the chains. They throw it complete to the left. He's not going to make it to the sticks. And what a stop against one of the best third down offenses in the country. All right, guys, so here we go in overtime. And just to refresh everyone's memory, alternating possession starting on the opponent's 25.
And it's so nice to be on defense first, just to set the tone, to understand what you need. Try to hold them to a field goal. The offense knows they can do their job to go out and get a win. Just 2 possessions, Paul. We're like, you got to be at your best.
Yeah, and I love the new rules, too, because in the third overtime possession, it goes to alternating 2-point plays. Back and forth. Who's got anything left in the tank here in OT?
So here comes our first play of overtime. Looking to throw on first down. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. Oh, he's getting ahead of steam. He's brought down, but he's got him inside the 10. First and goal from the 8. Here comes first and goal as they try to strike here in overtime. They'll dial up the run on first and goal. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
Brings up second and goal.
Wide out trying to get it in. Touchdown, Cincinnati! They take the lead here in overtime. to push the lead to 7 in overtime. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. Now on first down, they need to answer with a touchdown. To the air, it's Fafita. And the ball comes out. What a disastrous play. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere. It's a turnover. My pulse rate is still through the roof on this game. I would have called that one for free. Wait, I don't want to get carried away here, but it was a really fun game and a great win.
It really was. I know we're all up here. We're bouncing around. We're excited after having seen what we just saw. What a great win for this team to go out and do it in overtime. That's the type of game that fans are going to be talking about for a long time, Dave.
Great. Yeah, right. If you know Rich Davis, that is not happening, but we got a free game that was awesome. Back and forth, nip and tuck, and bonus time. You got some free overtime play in that one.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.